The light keeps coming in and out. So this might look very bright sometimes and then very dark at other ones. I think it's pretty dark right now from what I see on the screen. Hello everybody, June here. So I know that it's already the middle of February, but I'm just not getting around to making my January projects video. It's been, well, it's a short month, first of all. And second, the semester started at the end of January, and I've been trying to catch up on all the things I need to do. So I haven't had time. And then the first weekend in February, I took an advanced, what was it called? Advanced Sewing Techniques class at Workroom Social here in Brooklyn. So there was no sewing done, well, lots of sewing done that weekend, but not a single project based. So anyway, let's get started. I sewed quite a bit in January. Let's get to it. The first thing that I made in January was from Burda Easy, the 2001, no, not 2001, the 01 2018 issue. And I believe it is style 5A. It is a Raglan tee with a neckband, very basic stuff. This is the first time that I actually make something from Burda Easy, even though I have a few other issues. Nothing has really grabbed me enough to make the stuff, even though it's grabbed me enough for me to buy the issue. So I started with a size 42, and that was already at least two sizes, maybe one size, below what I should have made based on my measurements, and it was pretty big. The sleeves were really long, so I ended up shortening them a total of 2 1/8 of an inch, 2 inches and 1/8 of an inch. To make it just about above elbow length. And it's fine. And if you recognize the fabric, it is because it is the leftovers of the two things I made in December. Yes, a toaster sweater and a cardigan. I thought, you know, let's see what happens when I put these two together, because they're all bold colors. And I have to say that I like it a lot. My only concern is that for how wide it is in the hip, it is a little bit short. If things are gonna be that flared in the hip, and it's not flared, it's just wide, then I'd like them to be a little longer. And if they're gonna be that short, then maybe a little less wide. Part of the problem with that is that I do have smaller hips in comparison to the rest of my body. So it is not entirely the fault of the pattern, just the block that they use that is not my body type. The next thing that I made was a magazine pattern, and it is from a magazine called Simplicity Moda de Pasarela. It is issue 30, style, it started out as style 46, but you can actually find this in an envelope, and it is New Look 6469, because oddly enough, and I think I've talked about this before in other videos, in Europe, Simplicity releases this pattern magazine, and it is basically just their envelope patterns in the magazine format. They include seam allowance and everything. So this dress was supposed to be my party dress for the New York social, the New York City frog sales event that happened in January. So I had chosen the fabric before I chose the pattern. And the fabric, as you can see, I don't have a video, but I do have pictures, is shiny. It is very, very shiny. So I knew that the pattern had to be simple. And I've blogged about this, so I won't go into too much detail on here, but it is pretty cute. Eventually, it did not start out that way. There is like I said, a post about this on my blog, and initially the dress with the long sleeves made me look like an extra from Austin Powers. So I chopped out the sleeves and I made it work in the end. The only thing, and I am actually pretty bummed about this, is that at Frogtails we wore name tags. And when I got home, I realized that the name tag had taken some of the foil off of my dress, and it's very noticeable. So that is a bummer. That is a one-time wear dress. I have not decided what I'm gonna do with it, but I think I'm gonna try to wash it and see how the foil wears out. And that might fix it, because it might just wear out everywhere else. I don't know, but it was a pretty cool dress. I didn't expect to get so many compliments, but I got so many compliments on this dress. And then I made not one, not two, but 4 Grainline Studio Linden tees. And I made them obviously different in fabric and construction. Well, not construction, but in fabric and Well, you'll see. But the first one that I made was from the leftovers of the frogtails dress. So as you can see, the main body of the sweater, which I guess now it's not a sweater, it's just a long sleeve tee, is in that shiny metal fabric, and then the sleeves and the cuffs and the neckband are from some interlock that I've had in my stash forever because I have a lot of it. And I like it. It is not as in your face as a dress because it is toned down by the gray of the sleeves. And I think it's really cute, and you can dress it up, you can dress it down. And I made that one in sizes 8 through 6. So I cut a size 8 through the bust and the waist, I think, and then I graded down to a 6 at the hips. That's how I did my previous Grainline Studio Linden sweatshirt, because again, you know, narrow hips. And then I thought, okay, so I have already these pieces cut out for the pattern pieces cut out for this Linden tee. How about we make another one? So this time I used 2 types of actual sweatshirt fleece and I put them together, but I decided, well, you know, it's already plain gray. It's dark gray and lighter gray, but it's gray anyway. I am going to embroider this one. I drink a lot of caffeine. I don't drink coffee, but I drink Pepsi Max, which has a lot more caffeine than coffee. So I thought that would be the perfect thing to put on this sweatshirt. So I bought the design from Urban Threads. Yes, Urban Threads. And it is a larger one. Excuse me. It is a larger embroidery design. And then I just did it on my machine, put it all together, and I love it. To be fair, I always love everything, but I think this embroidery really takes a plain sweatshirt up another level. And then I also made another one. This one was a little bit of a muslin of sorts because I went up in sizes. I went from a 10 on the bust to an 8 at the hip because I was planning on making another one that you'll see in a minute. And I wanted to make sure that the sizing worked. And this one is in a French terry with like, not glued on, but like gold star constellation E design on the fabric. It is metallic and I bought it from Joann's, I think. Yeah, I think I bought it from Joann's. And I think going up a size in slightly less, in slightly thinner flowy fabric, is great, especially if you're not actually using ribbing, like actual ribbing for the neckband and the waistband or the bottom band. Because the very first time that I made this Linden tee, and I'm gonna link the video below, I used actual ribbing for the sweatshirt, and I think I may have made a size 12 all around, but it was a tent. But anyhow, I liked the fit of this one, so I went on to the one that I have been planning, and it is what I'm wearing. It is a black velvet and mermaid sequin Linden sweatshirt. I'm gonna put a video here so you can see it. It is fabulous, absolutely freaking fabulous. I have been thinking about making a sequin and velvet sweatshirt for, I want to say, a year at least, but I hadn't gotten around to it. I was mostly scared, not scared, but a bit apprehensive about sewing with sequins. I didn't want to have to like pick everything off, all the sequins off the seam line. But then I started seeing people on YouTube saying that you actually don't have to do that with little sequins. These are relatively small sequins, but you can just sew with them. So I thought, what the heck, I am going to try it. I bought the sequin fabric in the Garment District. I bought 1 yard and it was really, really wide. I was looking for a different kind of sequin. I wanted the ones where you can run your hands and it changes colors. I think it's called reversible, but I'm not sure. But I couldn't find anything that was also stretch. So I had given up, and then I walked into a store to look for something else. And then I saw this one, and I don't think you can see it in this video here very well. Let me look. But in the actual video that I have inserted here, you can see it. It is blue and green. It really does look like a mermaid's tail. And I love it. I am, however, not in any rush to sew with sequins again. It is so hard, and sewing with velvet, it's not easy either. Not just the pressing, but it's just slippery. Like if you have wrong sides together, things just slip around and it's a mess. This one, it's on, the sequins are on mesh and it's really uncomfortable. I keep touching my microphone. It's really uncomfortable on the skin, so I lined it with a very lightweight jersey, which helps, but there are still some sequins on the seams, even though I've done my best to get rid of them, but it is comfortable, it's wearable, and I haven't worn it yet out. Just the first time that I actually wear it for more than just trying it on. But I love it so much. And I made this pretty early in the month of January. I have vacuumed several times since then, and I still find sequins everywhere. Oh, another thing, I have read that you shouldn't use your fabric scissors to cut sequins because it'll mess them up. Well, I tried using my good paper scissors and they were literally not cutting it. So I used my regular fabric scissors and it seems to be fine. I sewed through the sequins. I didn't break a single needle. It is all good. My only issue with the sweater, with the sweatshirt, that you can't tell from the outside is that because of the sequins and the fact that they cannot go through the serger, the insides are not quite as pretty as I would like, but no one's gonna see it, and neither the velvet nor the sequins nor the jersey phrase, so it's all good. But just look at it, just admire it. I love it. I need somewhere to wear this. Maybe I'll just put it on to go to the grocery store or something. I'm not actually showing you the things that I made in the order that I made them. There were some things in between those sweaters, and one of the things was the York Pinafore by Helen's Closet, and it was one of my Make 9, and this was supposed to be, I hoped, a wearable muslin, and it is a wearable muslin. I made the size medium because I looked at the measurements, at the finished garment measurements, and I thought, okay, I can actually wear that. It'll be fine. And I made it, and then I tried to put it on, and I realized that I had forgotten that I actually had to get this over my bust. So just because the waist measurement was fine, did not necessarily mean that it was the right size for me. I can get it over my bust if I'm wearing a shirt that is slippery, but if I'm wearing something that isn't necessarily slippery, it is a struggle. But it is, like, the look of it and the technique is perfect, so I will wear it, but I will probably make another one in an L. And if I make another one in the L, I think I'll use the rounder patch pockets. This one I made the kangaroo one, which is fine, but I don't think it, I think it makes it a little more casual. And this is non-stretch denim. I had to go to the garment district to find some bias tapes for the binding, and that is a task and a half in itself. But all in all, I'm happy, and I'm happy that it's a wearable muslin, and I'm looking forward to making another one. I have some corduroy that I'm going to use for it, but I haven't gotten around to that. But that's one sewing pattern off of my Make 9, which is great. The last thing is a knitted sweater. This is the Weekender sweater from We Are Knitters. It is also one of my Make 9. I started this in the beginning of January and I finished it on the 27th. By the 27th, it was fully seamed and everything. I made the size large. When I bought the kit, I bought the large. In retrospect, I should have made the size medium. It is very oversized, and I'll wear it as it is. It's fine. It is meant to be oversized. But again, there's that thing with the hips. It is fine on my bust, but when it gets to the hips, it's pretty big. And I think a medium, because it is a knit and it stretches a lot, a medium would help solve that problem. I'm not gonna knit it again. It is a pretty expensive kit, relatively speaking. But if I had to do it again, I would do a medium. But then that's two things off of my Make 9, which is great. It was a pretty busy month sewing wise, even though most things were knits, and most of them are one single pattern. But that is all. Actually, no, that is not true. I made one other thing, and I don't have a video or pictures because they're leggings, and I haven't made a tunic to go with it. But I made a pair of the peg legs from Patterns for Pirates. I I basically just wanted to test out the fabric. I bought a double brush poly from fabrics.com, and I wanted to test the pattern with the fabric together, and it's actually pretty great. They're perfectly wearable, but I haven't made anything to go over them, and I do not wear leggings as pants. But that is really all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.